Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Hall Family Wines Happy Hour. My name is Catherine Walt Hall. We haven't been on social media much the last few weeks as we wanted to give space for the really important dialogue about social justice that's been taking place across our country and really now around the world. And today is Juneteenth, the day when we celebrate the emancipation of enslaved people. So I think it is appropriate for me now to confirm and acknowledge our commitment at Hall and Walt and Baca to the principles of social justice and anti-discrimination. We plan to continue to live up to these principles, and we plan to continue doing what we think is the best thing we do, and that is bringing people together. So I am really glad that you joined me today. We have an amazing program, and I know you're going to have so much fun with it. My guest today is Emmy and Tony Award-winning actor and comedian Martin Short, and we're going to be sipping three wines. Actually, I have to tell you that it's hot right here in Napa. It's almost 90 degrees, so I've been sipping on a little bit of the Baca Rosé, but we're going to be sipping three wines, and we're going to start with the Clos Pepe Pinot Noir from Walt, and then the Baca Somersault from Piccini Vineyard, Zinfandel, and we'll end up with the wonderful 1873 Cabernet from Hall. And so if you want to pour those, if you have them on hand and sip along with us, please do. And if you don't have them, this is a great time to buy it. We are offering these wines at a 20% off on our website for our Chill and Grill sale. So enjoy. And it is now just my great pleasure to bring on our very special guest for today, Martin Short. Marty, are you there?
I'm there. Hello, Catherine. Lovely to see you.
Oh, that just works so well. I am so glad that you're here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Marty.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really great. You are such a big star, and yet at the same time, so down to earth. We are just really lucky that you're joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So up here at Napa, we are things are just starting to move. We've opened our tasting rooms this last week. Are things changing down in LA? I think you're in the LA area right now.
I'm in Pacific Palisades, and it's coming back slowly, but then, I think it's wise to listen to the scientists and see what they have to say.
Oh, couldn't agree more. It's actually, in a way, I feel like here in California, we're doing everything right, and yet the numbers still are rising.
I know this is a tough one, but can you imagine if we were doing everything wrong, like states?
Right. Well said. Yeah. Well, I think we need to start off with a glass of wine. So
I think so too.
Well, alrighty. Okay. So the first wine that you and I are going to taste today is the Walt Pinot Noir from Clos Pepe Vineyard. So beautiful. I'm just going to pour you a glass. Okay.
All right. I'll put my glass
of internet. Are you ready? I'm
ready for.
No,
that's funny. That's funny. Thank you so much. Thank you. No more.
Oh yeah. Okay. That'll do.
My living room. From my office. I don't even know where I am.
Yeah. Oh.
And I haven't started drinking yet.
Yeah. Hey. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Let's say.
So, Marty, I thought what would really be fun.
Ooh, that's good, Catherine. That's delicious.
Yes. Good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought what would be really fun as a start off is so that people can get to know you a bit is I could ask you just a series of some rapid fire questions.
Absolutely.
All righty. Well, all right. Okay. I'm going to start out really easy.
Yeah,
what did you have for breakfast?
I had a delicious bowl of raisin bran with a little blueberry on it.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
And then about mid-afternoon, I had a yogurt.
Whoa.
Yeah, I went very healthy today.
Yes, you've been very healthy
because of
today.
a pint of Haagen-Dazs at around 11 p.m. last night, you see.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh, and no wine yet. Well, I am so
No.
here to fix that for you. Okay. Who is the inspiration for Ed Grimley?
It came out of I was in Second City, the improv group in Toronto, and I was doing a scene that originally started by John Candy, and I replaced him. And it was two people trying out for a position, and the woman was clearly qualified, and the guy was Ed Grimley, and the owner says, "Yeah, I don't know who to pick," and she has a tirade of, this is sexist, and I just decided to make my hair higher each performance to make Catherine O'Hara laugh, but the audience laughed, and I thought, well, that's kind of the point. So he kind of evolved.
Yeah. Well, I love him. Okay, describe Steve Martin. Rapid fire.
Describe Steve Martin. Well, he's a genius. Steve's a genius. There's and deeply kind and deeply lovely and so funny. But he's very methodical. He has a million hats that he can wear. He could teach modern art at UCLA. He's a novelist. He's a playwright. He writes music. He's a brilliant banjo player, of course. So there's so much he could do that it seems endless, quite frankly.
So are you binge watching any TV while you're in sheltering in place?
It's very odd. I have. I actually had never seen Downton Abbey. And so,
whoa, Downton Abbey just tuned in.
That was. Oh, I'm on some sort of echo.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but let's see.
Test 1, 2.
Oh, ouch. Let's see.
I
Say
don't know
something else.
Anyway, keep talking.
Okay, great. Okay, quick. Okay, I am going to Downton Abbey. You binge watched Downton Abbey, which
yes, I'd never seen Downton Abbey. I had never seen. I saw Ozark, but there's so many things. Listen, I just finished seeing the last few episodes of St. Elsewhere. I'm behind. I don't really watch so much television,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think we all are just watching much more than we used to. Okay, what's the last bottle of wine that you drank?
It was probably a Hall's wine.
Oh, that's nice.
It was a Catherine Hall.
Ah, well.
Can you imagine?
What a surprise.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were on SNL and you were only there for a year, I know, but who at that time was the most fun person to go out after the shows and party with?
Well, there's the great thing about SNL is that it's a fantastic party after each show. So we would go. And it's always at the hippest restaurant in New York at the time.
Oh, wow.
Would
that change from week to week?
Yeah, every week is a different week. So that's where you go, and you're there till about 5 a.m, because the weird thing about SNL is that you're the only hour and a half that counts is the last hour and a half of the work week.
Yeah. Wow. The pressure has just got to be crazy. Okay. Of all the characters that you've created, which one is the most fun one to portray?
It sounds disgusting to say, but when you create a character and you do it, the more you do it, the more you explore their little world, they do become your children. So it's almost like saying which child to like better. Jiminy Glick is always fun because it's all improvised. So I never know what I'm going to say. Sometimes I'll say, I take great umbrage. I said once, and I had to look it up. Like, what does that even mean? I've never said that before in my life.
It just came to you. Yeah.
Yeah. And because he's obnoxious anyway and an idiot, you can say things that you'd never dare say as yourself. I once said to Mel Brooks, What's your big beef with the Nazis? You know,
I've seen you ask him. Yes.
Yeah, but Jiminy Glick could ask him, right?
Right, but yeah, you didn't, but he did. It was great. I loved it. Okay, what celebrity have you left you starstruck?
Say that again.
Yeah, we're going to fix that somehow. I'm sure somebody is scrambling to try to fix that while we're talking.
I don't know what's going on.
So, what celebrity have you met who left you starstruck?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra, definitely.
Wow.
You know, it's interesting. I think that when you become, I think it's who was famous when you were 12 and 13 and 14. That's what sticks. Johnny Carson, when I first met Johnny Carson, you know.
Oh.
I mean, I remember meeting Tom Cruise and that was cool, but I didn't see him. He seemed like a peer and not this unbelievable, iconic experience that happens with celebrity.
Right. Yeah. What is a role that you didn't get that you wish you had?
I guess I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. I mean, because I could say Forrest Gump, but then I can't imagine Forrest Gump not being Tom Hanks. So what would it be? I turned down Dumb and Dumber. I remember that. I could be loaded now.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you.
Thank you.
Okay, and last question: when are you coming to Napa Valley next?
I did a benefit there about 7 months ago, and I met Francis Ford Coppola. That was very exciting. But I've been up there many times, on bike trips and wine testings, and I love it. But I don't know when I'm going next.
Yeah. Oh, good. I didn't know you were here. Darn it.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So I thought we'll just talk a little bit about this wine that we have, so that in our glass. This is our 2000.
Okay, this is really, really delicious. This is Pinot Noir.
It's a Pinot Noir. It comes from a vineyard, actually, that's closer to you than to me right now. It's down by Santa Barbara. This is one of our estate properties. Isn't that gorgeous down there? You can see that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and it's Santa Barbara, or this area here in Santa Rita Hills, is really very special because it has a lot of ocean influence on it. Even though it's in Southern California and a warmer climate in general, the wind from the ocean is so strong that it cools down the area. And then on top of that, all of the soil in the valley is this ancient seabed. And so what you get from the wines that come from here is this sort of bright, lovely fruit, but also with nice minerality. Yeah. So that's what we're expecting and hoping for.
Beautiful.
It is. It's very bright. I think there's a little earthiness on this for me too, which is lots of different ways you can say earthy, but we think earthy is a more poetic way to say it.
Beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Hey, we're live, right?
Yes, we're live.
Because I have a feeling that if I phoned back, if I reconnected, we'd get rid of that echo. Because right now I'm just looking at me. I can't see you.
Okay, I think that's okay if you want to come out, and I'll just talk about you in your absence.
Talk about me and I'll be right back.
Okay, but come back.
Oh, I'm coming back.
Okay. Okay, so while hopefully we can get Marty so that he is clear, I'll just tell you just a little bit more about this Clos Pepe. So we really love this wine. It's just got this it's got dark fruit flavors. Oh, you're back already.
I told you it was fast.
Well, okay then. Well, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
I was going to just drone on about this wine, but
no.
We've got more to do. Okay, now I have a request, and that is in this sort of COVID world, I am doing all sorts of these Zoom speeches to lots and lots of people. And I'm thinking that it would be helpful, it certainly would be helpful to me, but I actually think for other people too, if you would lead me through maybe some kind of warm-up exercise that you do before you are out in public.
Well, I mean, it's absolutely, first of all, for a fee, but for you, I'll waive it.
Oh, thank you.
One thing is, go like this, squeeze your cheeks like that, and go. Okay, now that what you're doing is that your vocal cords are going like that, so that warms up your vocal cords.
Whoa!
Like whenever you do a Broadway show, you see singers and all people in the ensemble. They're all just walking, but it's easier to squeeze. You develop it so that you don't need to squeeze. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great one. And then,
whoa! What did
now that sound like that you were just trying to let someone know you were having a stroke. I think it's going to be
that sounds like a dog to me.
Well, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, another good thing, and it gets into it stimulates your soul really, to try to impersonate a crow.
Oh, really?
Go ahead. It's a pretty crow. It's pretty good. How about a cricket?
Okay, a cricket. I can't do a cricket. Are you kidding? I can't do that.
Well, if you can go and then you create your cricket. These are the things I want you to work on, Catherine. Talk about wine.
I am on it. Okay. Now, I am thinking that there's just sort of another little aspect of this, and you're such a good sport that I thought maybe we could try this. And this is based on the fact that it's words. I know you know this so well, but words take on such a different meaning when we have in the way that they're delivered. And so I thought that I would give you a phrase, and
yes,
give it a phrase, and then a series of emotions, and then you would say that sentence with that emotion, and then I'm going to try to copy you.
Perfect.
And thereby learn. Okay.
I like it.
So the phrase is this: I still don't know what a wine stopper is.
Okay.
I still don't know what a wine stopper is. Now, let me say before we start this, Marty, do you know what a wine stopper is?
Yeah. It's what you use if I'm not even going to say it. I'm censoring myself right now.
Okay. Actually, I think we have a picture in here that we can
Yes, of course. The wine stopper is. Now, here's my question to you, though, about wine. When you, let's say I drank half this bottle.
Yeah.
I'll drink the whole bottle. Let's just say I only drank half the bottle.
Yeah.
And would I use a wine stopper, or would I take the original cork and shove it in?
Actually, I think either one.
And how long does it last in that altered state?
Not so long. That's the problem.
I'm amazed because I will do that, and then 2 days later, it tastes a little like port.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you make port, really. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
But so it's really just it lasts a day or something. Yeah.
Well, it's just I actually got one of these really fancy inert gas things for my husband for Christmas one year with the idea that, you know, we would fill up a bottle, and then we never used it because we always finished the bottle. But
you know, and aerating, I was great friends with Nora Ephron, the writer, and she would have these fabulous dinner parties. And one night she had Frank Bruni over, who was the editor of the New York Times, right? Food tasting. Now he's columnist. He does the columnist, but then he was the editor of the food. And you'd hear in the kitchen, and what she was doing, she had read that you can take a bottle of wine and put it in a blender. And hit the blender for 15 seconds and put it in the decanter. It's already aerated. So she had glasses lined up so that we had to pick which one was the blender aerated, naturally aerated through time, non-aerated. And most of us couldn't get it. Frank got everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And also that's a lot to do. I mean, that's a lot of aeration, even in 15 seconds. So,
well, but I think she just read it and was fascinating to see if it in fact worked. And she thought, what better person to try it on but Frank?
Yeah, great. I didn't know that's what he did before. I just thought he did.
He was the editor-in-chief for the Food and Wine, or whatever that term is, of the New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
okay. So, here's the phrase. And I'm going to try to copy you at least at the start.
Okay, what's the line again?
I still don't know what a wine stopper is for.
Okay.
Okay. Emotion number 1. Yeah. Sad.
I still don't know what a wine stopper is for.
I still don't know what a wine stopper is for.
Oh, that's very good. I give you 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, okay. Angry.
I still don't know what a wine stopper is for, okay? I added okay.
Okay.
I'm a writer.
Okay. Okay. I still don't know what a wine stopper's for.
Well, that you've added a mocha swirl of nervous breakdown in there, which I think is effective, but it's tragic that you would be that upset over the loss of a wine stoppers.
I know. Well, and my business is really tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy.
I still don't know what a wine stopper is for.
Okay. And the last one. Okay. Flirty.
Hey, Catherine. So I still don't know what a wine stopper is for.
Oh, so good. Bravo.
Okay. I'll drink to that.
Yeah. Okay. You need another glass of wine, and we're ready. This is our time for our next bottle of wine.
What is a bottle?
This is our Baca Zinfandel.
Uh-huh.
And I am going to pass this. Oh, no, I'm not going to pass it to you. I'm going to
pour
this.
I'll hold my glass up here.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
A little. That's okay. That's okay. I'll suck it up later. Thank you so much. Here we go.
Okay. Great. Okay.
So, that's very smooth. Now that's smooth.
Isn't that wonderful?
Why is that so smooth?
Well, it's partly the grape and it's partly the vineyard that it comes from. So I have a picture. I want to show you this picture. This comes from a vineyard that's up in Mendocino called the Piccini Vineyard. And it's just so typical of what we kind of vineyards we like to work with. This family, they dry farm. They are all sustainable. They use these old heritage vines. I mean, these vines here for this Zinfandel are like 100 years old. So so anyway, and what it does is it produces all those factors together, produce this wine. It just has lots of power and it's still really very elegant. So it's really for
That's
us.
fabulous.
Thank you. I love this wine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it smells very sweet, but there's no sugar in this wine. It just, there's so much fruit in here that it gives that sweet flavor.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I only used to, in most of my life, drank red wine. But in the last, 8 years, I was drawn to white wine. Mm-hmm. And because sometimes I feel that, obviously, if you're having roast beef or a steak or something, of course, you'd have to have red wine. Mm-hmm. But I would find that if someone said, hey, do you want a glass of wine just before dinner, it would be white, because the red can sometimes, because I like Cabernet Sauvignon, sometimes it's so heavy, it's almost filling. It's like I'm always amazed when people have a stout or something. You know, the Irish will have a big black beer before dinner, and I think, Jesus, that's dinner. That would fill me up.
No, that's it. No, we're Irish too. In
This
my
wouldn't.
family, so I
This is
get it.
light.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's one of the characteristics I think that makes Pinot Noir so lovely, because it gives you a lot of flavor, but it's still lighter than a Cabernet. A Cabernet really can make your palate get sort of tired. When we're making wines, like during harvest, or as we're tasting the wines when they come in during harvest times, most of the tanks will go through because our Cabernet, because most of the wine that we make is Cabernet. But the when we'll get to a Pinot Noir tank, it's like, oh, thank heavens, just because it's not quite so heavy on the palate. Which is not to say we don't love Cabernet. We love Cabernet, but I get that. Okay, I think we're getting a lot of questions here, and yes, okay. Well, here's one question. Folks want to know, and actually I do too. When are you going to go back and resume your tour with Steve Martin?
You know, I don't know. Again, I will not let a politician tell me when. I'll let a scientist tell me when. But we were in the middle of a tour. We were actually, when President Trump came on TV and said everyone's got 24 hours to get back, we had just performed that night in Dublin. And the next night we were in Belfast, and then we had 2 shows at Royal Albert Hall in London. So we got back, and we will honor those dates. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it will be in 2020.
Yeah. This is just like it. Sort of everything in this world is so unpredictable right now, and nobody wants to push that health envelope.
Yeah, I think though that it's you know, it is interesting that I think we also are a society that doesn't like to be told what we have to do, and there's a level of impatience but I think it's very foolish not to listen to doctors. I mean, again, the old analogy is when we fly in an airplane, we don't want the guy with the brimmiest personality flying the plane. We want the best pilot flying the plane.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm intrigued by. I'll just go by what Dr. Fauci has to tell me.
Yeah, totally. Me too. He really. Yeah. I haven't seen any polls, or at least not lately, about him, but I have to think that he's got to be the most trusted person.
They're through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, the American public is really. A lot of fringe gets a lot of attention on both sides, left and right, but the general American is a pretty bright person.
Yeah, I think so, and I hope so, and I'm counting on that.
Yes.
So, here's another question we have. I just saw your that you were you at the Kennedy Center honoring Tom Hanks?
Yes, well,
I was
the MC of his section.
Oh. So what is that like at the Kennedy Center? I mean, you must have had people from all over the world there.
Well, at the Kennedy Center, what's intimidating is that the president's in the balcony. You know, President Trump hasn't done it since he got into office, but every other president, of course, has. And so when I did it, it was the last year of President Obama. And so you're aware that they're up there, he and Michelle, and they're, you know, I mean, that's daunting, and there's Secret Service and all, but those are big, brilliant shows, the Kennedy Center honors. Yeah. And I'm there for Tom Hanks, who's like a lifetime friend.
Oh. You know, I asked you then about whether you were intimidated, and it just occurred to me, do you ever get nervous when you're going to go out and perform anymore?
You know, at one point when I was about 28, it dawned on me that getting nervous really got in the way. It really made me it didn't help at all. So psychologically, I just put it out of the way. What I do is I over-prepare for everything I do, so that when I go out, and if I happen to bomb, because I'm not a robot, and the audience might hate me, At least I'll go home and I'll still take a glass of wine. I'll toast myself and say, I did everything I could do. I'm not a robot. So it usually works out.
That's great. Okay, third wine of the day, Mr.
Uh-oh.
Short.
All right.
Okay, we just
Well, let me get my glass. Let me get my
work. Okay, this is our 1873 Hall Cabernet, and it is our 2016 vintage. And I am going to pour you.
Okay, I'm holding my glass here.
Yeah, okay.
Now don't spill. You tend to spill.
I got you. Really? Okay, two full?
Well, I mean, you spilled the first two, and I just would love to think that this one wasn't. Oh, you spilled again. Oh well.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's just that it was my mother's carpet, but we'll throw it out.
Oh, I'm
this.
So sorry. I'm
1873.
Yeah. That's number 3. This is our third one. So this is our Cabernet. This is
good. Catherine, this is the best, I think.
Oh, well, you're a Cabernet man. And yes, I love this. Actually, I think you can see this vineyard behind me. I don't know. Does that show up in the pictures? But maybe it's
sure does. There's a glass in front of it, but I know what you mean.
Well, it's this thing that's got it's the green leaves, little blue things on it,
It's gorgeous.
So, yeah. So anyway, the core of this wine for the 2017 was came right from this vineyard. And so this is called the Sacrochet Vineyard. We love it. This is actually where I live, and it's the first vineyard my husband.
Wow.
It's very special. Anyway, this fruit it's mountain fruit. It's very intense. What we get off of here, we love all of this fruit, but it tends to be very, very big, has a lot of tannin, and it's very concentrated. So what we'd like to do in this particular blend, I mean, the goal with the 1873 every year is that we create a blend that is very powerful and it's concentrated. Hence, we start with these grapes. But then we blend in from other vineyards to sort of round it out, give it some softness, give it a little mellowness. And so that's the goal here. Let's see.
It's absolutely delicious. It's Cabernet rich, and it's utterly satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Thank you. Whoa, I am really getting the chocolate on this.
Yes, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
What's that about? Explain that.
It tends to be, chocolate is a quality that tends to come out from fruit that is grown in a warmer climate.
No, but it's odd because I wouldn't have thought that. But when the second you said it, I went, "Oh my God,
yeah,
that's absolutely true."
Yeah, it's really, really, really lovely. Okay. Yeah. Mm. So we still have time for a couple more questions. So I'm going to take advantage of you and ask you another one that has just come in.
Go ahead.
And that is, what is your favorite memory that you associate with wine? Do you have any memories that you associate with wine?
Unfortunately, by the time I finish the wine, there are no memories because you can't remember. Look, I have always loved wine. I've always, I'm Canadian. And
I know that. By the way, you are so polite. Thank you.
The what?
And you're so polite.
Yeah, well, we really are.
I know. Why is that?
Do you know what's interesting about, this is a fact. Canadians, when the stoplight turns to yellow, stop, and Americans tend to speed up.
Yeah.
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 No, I know. I don't know what it is. It's a very odd country, remember. Remember, the things that tear this country apart have nothing to do with Canada. We've had socialized medicine since 1961. The Queen of England is the Queen of Canada. She's on the money. And we have guns, but there's no Second Amendment. So it's an interesting, different kind of calmer situation. But I'm sorry, what was the question? I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we're sort of digressing, but I wanted to say this. Last time I was in Toronto just before COVID hit.
Hold on. I was going to say that I'm raised in Canada, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and it was really French wines because of Quebec that seemed to permeate. Canada's more of an international country in general, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was a lot of, and I remember when I first came to California, long in the 80s, by the way, I would be told that California wines were as good as how expensive they were. But French wines, you could find a ringer for less of. What do you think? Is that true?
Well, I actually think that you can find fabulous bargains in France. I mean, it's actually to be in the business.
But the idea that in California, the more you pay, the better it is.
Actually, no, I really don't. I think that there are some wines that get a sort of an image, and then
Right.
the prices get really elevated, and not necessarily based on quality. I think a lot of people just people who don't feel confident in their own decision of what wine to buy will look at other factors when they make a buying decision.
But has the landscape and the perception of California wines changed in 25 years? Like, hasn't it gained enormous respect in 25 years?
Oh, absolutely. I think it really has. I mean, I think our wine, and I credit that in large part to Bob Mondavi, who used to.
I love Mondavi wines, I must admit.
Me too. Me too. And
the Cabernet Mondavi is as good as it gets. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And
are there California wines now? If you go to the Ritz in Paris, would you find a California wine you wouldn't have 25 years ago?
Yeah. You may, but it's sort of Coles to Newcastle. I don't think that we're going to ever make a whole lot of headway into the old world in Europe. And but there's a whole world out there that drinks wine aside from France and Europe. So I mean, I think we've got a lot of potential, and that'll change.
What's interesting about wine as opposed to vodka is that vodka is never about education. Wine is about education. Like my son Oliver, in the last 10 years, really became a connoisseur of wine.
Wow.
But you don't be a connoisseur of vodka. You just drink vodka to get drunk.
Yeah.
Or to have a lovely cosmopolitan. That's fun. But he has learned so much more about wines in the last 10 years. He's only 32 now, but he always liked it. We always had good wines here. And he evolved. I have 3 kids. He's the one that's taken it to, what do you think, Ollie? You order the wine, if we're in a restaurant.
Whoa, how fabulous. By the way, it's always good to order a wine when your dad's paying.
Well, absolutely correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So absolutely. Is this your son who is studying to become a vet?
No, that's my son, Henry. Oliver worked for NBC Sports. He moved out to LA. They just had a baby, he and his wife, Alyssa, my first grandchild.
Oh.
And he's now associate producer of American Ninja Warrior on ABC.
Wow. That's fabulous. So they are in the business. One of the questions I was hoping to ask you along the way was.
Well, it's not in the business like, Goldie and Kurt's kids are in the business, but it's certainly part of the business. Yes. No, they're in the business. That's true.
Can you imagine yourself having done any other career, being in any other career?
Oh, I wanted to be a doctor. That's the profession I admire the most. But then, and I went into pre-meds. I was in for 2 years, mainly because I was a fan of Chad Everett and Medical Center. And it dawned on me that wasn't enough.
Oh. So, well, Martin Short.
I like the idea of being a doctor, not so much the science part.
Okay. So this has just been such a joy for me. You have given me and the world and continue to so many happy moments, memorable moments. Actually, just like what I try to do on wine, but you have given these to me and still do. And I so appreciate this has just been
thank you so much.
a great joy. And thank you so much, Marty. Before you go away, any last words to say?
Listen to the scientists, not the politicians.
Hear, hear.
I'm Catholic, by the way.
And what?
And I'm Catholic, by the way, but I say L'chaim.
Okay. Well, all of the above.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Lovely to see you, Catherine.
Great to see you, Marty.
Someday we'll do it in person.
I love it and look forward to that.
That'd be fun.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was so much fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's just been a wonderful day. Martin Short is absolutely amazing. Don't forget, we have the all of these wines we've had today. They're available on our website at a 20% off discount for now. And we will be back. We'll be back on Monday. Jeff will be back, actually, on the Baca Live channel, Instagram Live, Baca Instagram Live. And he'll be here with the LBGA star, the golfer. And I always get those letters mixed up. LPGA star, Jenny Shin, who is fabulous. So to everybody, thank you again for joining us. Stay healthy and sip up.